All right, let's hope this thing is working. Trying out some fun new stuff on some just drawing tablet whatnots, you know, as you do. So, with a new drawing system, I like to play around with some new drawing styles. I've never actually done the style where you take like a colored marker or something and you make like a fun little blob like this where it just kind of like blobs everywhere, and then you take your pencil and you go through and you mark out some fun little things like this, and you start creating some little funny, wacky alien thing as you go through, and it just kind of gets formed because of the shapes that you made. That's a fun little thing. I used to do it with like thumbprints and stuff, where I'd make people out of thumbprints. And that was I don't know what's going on here. That was a fun little thing that I used to do a while back, and haven't done that in a while. But you can get some fun little blob creatures. I'll just give it a fun little. I keep saying fun little. I suppose it's just because I really enjoy like a fun little. I keep saying it. I have like a fish mouth and whatnot. I don't know, a little fin. That works, right? Anyway, so you would do something like that. Got this funny, wacky creature in the background. Anyway, so I'm just planning on doing something like this. Looks ridiculous. This is really funny, actually. What is this thing? It's got like a shell and whatnot. Yeah, whatever the heck that was. Hold on, let me just. Okay, great. Anyway, I'm not sure how I'm gonna edit this video and whatnot. If there'll be any editing, that is the wrong color. I'm very organized and know exactly what I'm doing. So I just thought it'd be fun to change it up a little bit. I feel like background music would go really well with this, and I read some comments recently that make me want to go back into doing some background music. So I'll probably have a video out like that as well. I'm going on a trip soon, so I want to make sure that I have enough, backlog of videos to keep doing my stuff. And I hope that I do, because there's a good chance that I don't. And if that's the case, that'll be really sad. So I just gotta put in a few little bits of work. But that's why I'm doing this, because it allows me to, multitask with having the art and the commentary over the same thing. So you can probably hear my chair squeaking in the background. That was something that I was thinking of doing, which is interesting with the background music. I came across a spider a while back, and it was while I was walking. I like to take some walks every now and then, get some fun art inspiration. And I have this lamp, this little lamp thing with a light in it that that had a spider in it when I walked by, and it looked super freaking cool. So now I'm trying to draw that right now. It's the fun. There I go saying it again. The fun little light thing that it was in. It has the spirals and whatnot and all the stuff on the inside. Anyway, that's the general setup of that. So that's what I'm drawing. But fun stuff has been happening recently. I'm super hyped about it. I'm gonna go on a trip soon, which is fun. My dad had a partner who was going through and doing some sort of seminar thing, and I've gone to a few of them. The dude enjoys me being around, This definitely looks super professional with all my scratches and scribbles. So I'm gonna redo that. But yeah, so I was gonna go to this webinar thing with my dad. I'm making all the sounds today. Which is great. But I think I actually like the scratchiness a little bit better, honestly, now that I'm looking at it. Fits the style that I like to do a little bit more. So I like to do a bit more of a rough style than an easier one. I feel way more strained now because I have to when I'm doing like this strained sound. That's because I'm looking over at my second monitor and hold on. It's because I'm looking over at my second monitor and I'm getting I just like lose full train of thought, so I have to really focus to keep track of my ideas. But so that's happening, and that's gonna be really fun. And I got concert tickets to go see some stuff with my cousin. We're gonna go camping. It's like everything's just looking great. It's gonna be wonderful. But I have to make sure that I put the videos out sooner. Or no, I've a backlog of videos. That's what the really important thing is. That I have a backlog of videos, and then I can go do the things without, ruining the streak. It's very important to keep track of all the, make sure that I'm keeping up with all the things. I like it because it keeps me doing stuff and it makes sure that I actually get projects done and gives me deadlines and whatnot, which is great because I work really well when there's actual deadlines and whatnot. And when there's not, I kind of just, I'm just a guy who needs some focus on things. And as soon as I have some focus, then I can actually get all the stuff done. That's actually what my cousins like to have me work on. They'll be like, hey, I got this project. I need help getting it done. It's like, yeah, I can totally help get that done. I just need a step by step guide of exactly what you want done, and I'll figure out how to do it. So that's always fun. Yeah. And the other thing is, I'm not super used to the drawing tablet, so it's a little. It doesn't quite feel nice right now. So you see that I'm doing these lines, but it doesn't quite. The reason why it's as scratchy as it is because I'm actually not used to the drawing tablet or the orientation it's in. This is like it's like the second time I've actually drawn on with it on my desk. Most of the time I'm like really lazy and just don't even get up from my couch to draw on this. But that aside, life's looking up, all the things are looking great, and I've been trying to figure out, I've been like racking my brain on how to make videos because they're not, you know, entertaining with a huge amount, and right now it just kind of feels like I'm excuse me. Right now it just kind of feels like I'm slogging through them a little bit, and that's something I want to avoid. So I'm trying to figure out how to spice it up for me so I can keep them having fun. One of the things I want to do is I actually want to like upgrade the actual YouTube content for the things that I'm doing because right now it's I'm not getting like any views on my stuff, which honestly is fine except that I want some feedback on my videos. I like feedback on what's going on, and the more audience I get, the more diverse feedback I can find from there. So that would be really nice to be able to have that. Hold on, changing colors. Looks about right. How did this thing go again? Yeah, I can. There we go. How did this go again? Something along the lines of like you right there, and then a second piece right there. that looks about right. Great. And dark-ish colors. Sorry, I'm adjusting some things. Wasn't the most ready for this, but I figured I might as well start before I do some things, because I don't want to get lost in the realm of like potentially doing stuff without ever actually. You know the drill. If you've been watching my stuff, you know the drill of what I'm talking about. Anyway, so things are looking up. All the stuff is going great. Life is good. You love to hear it. And I'm not a fan of that angle right there. Anyway, so some different. I'm gonna adjust my chair real quick. There we go. That feels a bit better. Anyway, so it hasn't quite felt like I've been able to really, really enjoy it like I used to. And I think I'm going to adjust this back up because I'm sitting. And I think one of the reasons for that is because I've felt a little trapped on what I'm allowed to make. And then I realized that I'm not thinking about this properly because I shouldn't really care about what I'm allowed to make. I should just make the things that I want to make. Which is why I'm now here, doing some spider drawings on a tablet that I'm not used to. Because it's what I wanted to do. And, at the end of the day, that's actually what I built the channel for, is so that I actually do the things that I want to do. So if it started making it so that I'm not doing the things that I want to do, then it kind of, ruins the point of having the channel in the first place, which would be terrible. I'm very utilitarian when it comes to the things that I make, because, that's the things that you make should serve their purpose. It's like, well, what if the thing was, made to be pretty? Then you should make it, like, really pretty so that it, functions how it's supposed to. By being pretty. It's like, well, prettiness isn't a function. It's like, well, yeah, you said that there was a thing for the reason you made it anyway. Anyway, I'm rambling. Some of the things I've been thinking about doing was like streaming, because I think that could be fun. This is definitely how spiderwebs work. Don't question that. I'm definitely not going off reference. Anyway, so I was thinking of doing something like streaming where I hook up my piano and all the things and get over here and, just have some fun for it. But I wasn't really sure if that's exactly what I wanted to do, so I've been putting that off for a bit. And I've finally got to the point where it's like, well, I might do that at some point. One of the things I want to do was like Darkest Dungeon, play through that, because I've been playing that for a little bit. So I'd like wipe the stuff on my account. And then I'd wipe the what are they called? The achievement stuff on my account. And then play some like video games and whatnot on that. And then we can, I'd have some fun. That's not how a arachnoid head works. Hold on. How are you head? Okay. I'm gonna pretend that I know what that looks like. And just work with it. I almost started doing Bob Ross for a second. Happy little clouds. Just making a nice little arachnoid head. But the general idea is like, hey, there's things that I want to do. I just don't quite. No, you should be a bit more solid like that. Like that. And finally just goes down there. There we go. That looks nicer. Anyway, there's things that I want to do, and I just don't quite feel like I'm allowed to do them. So it's like, well, okay, well, who gave you permission to start the YouTube channel? And it's like, well, I did. So I suppose at some point, if I decide that I want to start doing the YouTube channel again, then I'll the YouTube channel stuff again. I'll just start it. Oh yeah, I'm still recording, aren't I? That's not how that leg works. Let's just get these angles right. Sorry, I'm a little distracted on the drawing right now. Just like mildly unfortunate, but two birds with one stone. It was the first time I'm doing it. Figured there might be some problems. There we go. That looks a lot nicer. Anyway, so I've been thinking about doing some stuff like streaming and whatnot, and like maybe hook up the piano to some stuff and stream while playing piano, or some video games. Terraria with the trackpad was one that I wanted to do. I still want to work that out with my cousin though, because we have some funny ideas where we find a mod where he plays the monster and he plays the monsters and I play on the trackpad. I've never actually beaten Terraria before. I've started many games, but never actually got to the point where I think I've made it to hard mode like once, and that was it. So that's my that's the extent of my Terraria experience. But I think it'd be fun to play it with a trackpad. Because that just sounds like a fun little challenge. It'll be harder than Minecraft on a trackpad, but probably easier than like a first-person shooter on a trackpad. I don't know, actually. A first-person shooter might actually work a bit better. I was thinking of, because I know I have some Terrarian experience, but all I really know is like some basic class information, and that was just gonna light up some pieces here just because that makes it look a smidgen nicer. Anyway, this is just a fun little rough sketch of Spider, as you do. Let's see. That's the right tab for that. I'll lock both of those. And get slightly darker. Anyway, there's some bits and bobs of like they're things that I want to do, and I'm not quite sure how to do them, and that's okay. I just have to like decide if I'm actually gonna do them or not. And I didn't know if I really wanted to do streaming of some stuff or play video games or whatnot. At the end of the day, this channel's basically just whatever I want it to be. And I've actually really enjoyed, way more than I thought, I've really enjoyed having some interaction with the content, because it allows me to know if my things are actually good or not, because I'm like one of the harshest critics against me that I know. And so I recognize that I'm not actually a good judgment of my own achievements, which many people tend to fall under that category of like not good judgments of their own achievements. But I recognize that I'm not. So if somebody's like, hey, you did really good there, then I'm like, maybe I actually did better than I thought, because I thought I just did like a piece of crap work there. And so it'd be fun, and then, grow a little bit of an audience and whatnot. I just know that this channel's not really built for that kind of thing, though, so the audience-esque thing just isn't quite the standard of, this channel is not built for an audience. And it's like, why is it not built for an audience? And it's like, well, because
because I have not formatted this in a manner in which people will enjoy watching the things that I do. And it's like, why is that? And it's like, well, Vaughn, one of the problems are that, you know, you're not good at talking about yourself. What the heck is this color? What is going on? What happened to the color I had? I had you just a second ago. Where are you? Where do you lie? There you are. Anyway, it's like, well, Vaughn, you're not good at talking about yourself. And it's like, yeah, well, it's part of the reason you actually got a YouTube channel, isn't it? So that you can, talk about yourself in a way that isn't like, just brushing off all the things that you do. Because, my cousins tend to. One of my cousins actually banned me from talking about myself because I was so bad at it. He's like, dude, you're like, you're just telling this story in a way that makes it so that it's not interesting at all. And the thing that you did was actually really, really cool. And it's like, well, thanks, but I'm just not quite feeling it, Yeah, that feels a bit better. And it's like, well, all right, fair enough. I suppose I'll I'll go to the unforgiving, unforgetting internet and see what they say about all of my things. And I've heard a lot of good things so far, which is great, which I appreciate. And it's like I've gotten one dislike. It's like, yes, for a moment at least, there was some contention in the audience for what was good and what was bad. But then I like, there's no identifying tags for the channel, which is a problem that I do need to fix, that I have gone through and started to fix and all the stuff. And I've improved some of the visuals of the channel by just a little bit. And this turned out better than I thought it would. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of how the spider itself turned out, with how spidery it looks. But overall, I think this turned out decently. It's a fun sketch at the very least, so that was fun. Anyway, yeah, so like generally there's not a lot going for this channel other than like me, and I have a good microphone. And that is it. That's like, I don't have a good computer, and everything else is like based off of my pure ability to do things. And when it comes down to like, hey, are you actually gonna like improve on these things? It's like, well, I want to, but I also have a lot of things that I'm trying to get done right now, so we'll just put it to the back. But anyway, there's a bunch of things I want to try, and I don't know if I'm actually gonna try them or not, but I might. This turned out way better than I thought it would, and I was able to talk a lot more than I thought I would, so this actually turned out way better. And I'm a fan of the little Spidey boy right there. No, I think that's actually a female spider. Little Spidey girl right there. Uh so that was fun. This turned out better than I thought it would. Uh yeah. How do I turn this thing off? Hold on. I swear. There we go. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna cut anything from this video, so I'll just work with what I got. So, yeah.